feels lonely, like very lonely. Like, you know, when you're the only one stuck in a room for a whole semester, a whole year at that, it's just like it makes you feel some type of way because you can't be a child like everybody else.
He should have been able to go to school, to learn, to participate in extracurricular activities, to be with his peers, to enjoy the best years of his life. And unfortunately, Barbers Hill denied him of that right.
In this round, here's Quanell X.
Charles, a very sad and unfortunate story is dealing with a ruling that came out of Chambers County, Texas, and Anahuac, Texas, where Judge Neeson Chapstick King ruled against the Barbers Hill student, young Daryl George, in his fight to be allowed to attend school, to wear his cultural hair the way that he has been wearing it all of his life for many years. The school has been punishing this young man, putting him in in-school suspension every day solely because of his hair. And Governor Abbott here in Texas signed into law the Crown Act, which is also a federal law. But Judge Kane ignored that law and ruled in favor of Barbers Hill ISD, the same school that brought the federal law into existence in the first place because of the Crown Act, dealing with another African-American student several years ago. That is a racist school district. It was a racist ruling by the judge. And how would they ever expect that a white judge who has zero understanding of the cultural expressions and cultural sensitivity and cultural practices of black hair be allowed to sit and make a ruling on black people's hair, whether it should be worn in school or not? It was wrong, and I pray that they succeed on the federal level with this lawsuit.
Okay, let me attack this piece by piece. Firstly, they have a policy, and it's about hair length, period. Right? It applies to the white students that are male, or I guess that identify as male, and the Latin students and the African American students. Now, I think the policy is stupid. I think the school district's concern should only be whether kids are obeying the behavioral rules in putting out the best effort. I think it's heartbreaking that Mr. George has been both in alternative campus and in school suspension, and I disagree with the policy. And you know, my daughter, who is now an adult, we lived out there in Barbers Hill before I went to Harvard. She did her kindergarten year at Barbers Hill, and it is an incredibly white community, very, very white, and I think it's an incredibly bad look for the school district in the area to be pushing this. Having said all that, what you have said about District Court Judge Chapstick Kane is horrible. This is a lifelong public servant who has dedicated, he sits in both Liberty County and Chambers County.
Two racist counties.
And I know everything's racist that you don't disagree with, right? But he made some very salient points, right? He said this is the Crown Act as it pertains to Texas, and this is what it says, and this is what it protects, and it fails to talk about hair that is braided or in lokes or in other ways, and this was a legislative failure, and that needs to be addressed legislatively. He expressed that he wasn't happy with the ruling, he didn't like it, and that he advocated for the Texas Senate and the Texas Congress and our governor to fix the fallacies in the Crown Act.
But he didn't rule on the facts.
Well, he did rule on the facts.
No.
He absolutely did.
Read the story.
The
kid is
not
being
only
punished.
did I read, I know you
He's
just
being
read what you get
for
stuck
the length
in front
of the hair.
you. Right.
The rule says the hair cannot be beneath the earlobe. Okay. Look at his hair. Is that beneath the earlobe?
What you're talking about
is that beneath the earlobe? That's the rule.
It is because it's braided, and he said
it can't be beneath the earlobe. It can be pinned up.
Again,
it's pinned up,
but
Charles. He didn't rule on the facts, Charles.
Okay. He did rule on the facts, and he ruled on the statute itself because the statute doesn't speak to whether it's pinned up. Daryl George's mother gave, she talked about protective hair design, and there's all these, and you talked about cultural and all this, and of course you got to get bigoted. Oh, white men don't understand. I mean, does that mean that I don't understand anything about hair?
Could you imagine if black judges had the power to tell white children how they can and cannot wear their hair in public schools in Texas?
You know what? If a black
you sure
judge,
as hell wouldn't like that.
You don't know. Of course I would. If a
you wouldn't like that.
If a black judge, you're making another racist assumption. If a black judge says, here's the law, I'm going to make all students follow the law. I don't like this law, but it's the law. then I wouldn't have any problem with it.
But Charles, you and
for
I both
hold
know
on, no, I
he's
know you
being
wanna
punished
interrupt
for the
me.
length of the
Okay,
hair.
right.
Charles, his hair is pent up. It's not beneath the earlobe, Charles.
I know you want to talk about things that aren't the truth.
Is that not the
right?
facts?
And I know
Charles,
you see.
it says the length cannot be beneath the earlobe.
Okay.
It's pent up, Charles.
Okay, but it's pinned up. It doesn't refer his length. The length of the hair unpinned is longer than it's allowed to be.
No,
and that's the
Charles,
whole point.
because
And the
it's
Crown
pinned up,
Act,
Charles.
And the Crown Act doesn't speak to that because the Crown Act was written in a deficient manner by
Let me tell you the mistake that was
legislators
made.
that didn't do their
Here's the
damn
mistake.
job.
The legal team
you know
made
who
a mistake.
Didn't, you know what? Who
The
did,
legal team
you
made a
know who
mistake.
didn't make a mistake was Chap Kane. This is
He made a huge
noble
mistake,
public servant.
but the
who
legal
said,
team
this is
never
the
should have
law.
tried that case in
The
Chambers
law
County.
should have been better.
They never should have tried it
Where
in
should
Chambers
they have
County
tried it?
in federal courts.
Okay, but
And in particular, the federal court downtown Houston in Harris County. They should have filed that lawsuit in federal court and demanded it to be heard on a federal level.
And the result would have been the same.
I doubt it very
because
seriously.
Barbers Hill is
and
making the argument.
let a jury hear the case.
Barbers Hill.
Let a jury hear the case,
Barbers
not a
Hill
lone white
is
guy.
making the argument that they have a race-neutral policy, that when the hair is down, it has to be above a certain length, right? They don't matter what the color of the skin.
It
and
can't
that
be.
is not racist.
It can't hang beneath the earlobe, Charles.
And that is not
Is it hanging?
racist. If you have the
Is this
same,
hair hanging beneath the earlobe?
if you have this, then so if a white guy put it in a man bun, would that be okay?
Oh, there are some there who did it.
Okay, no.
No,
Actually,
no,
they're
no,
not.
no.
And
There
in
are some
fact-
white guys who put their ponytail in a bun at
I
the
know,
school,
I know
and
you
we
love-
have the pictures.
I know you love to make stuff
And we
up.
have the pictures,
I know
Charles.
you love to lie.
No, Charles.
I know
we
you
have
love
the
to make
pictures,
stuff
Charles.
up.
Yes.
I know you want to make your argument
Charles,
through
we
dishonesty
have
when
the
you
pictures.
can't make an honesty.
In fact,
But
a white
Chap-
teacher sent us a picture of a little white kid at Barbers Hill High School whose hair was longer than on his earlobe, but he was still allowed to be in class.
Okay, again, I know you like to make stuff up.
No,
That's
these are
what you have
facts,
to
Charles.
do. You've called this public servant, Judge Chapstick,
Judge
a
Chapstick
racist.
Kane.
You're making fun of a man that has served
'Cause
his
he's a
community for
joke.
years. He's not a joke.
He didn't rule on the facts.
He ruled on the law. And I don't care if my judge is black, white, Latin, Asian, plaid, purple, I don't give a damn. But if he takes the law
If it's a
and
just
follows
judge,
the
we
law,
don't care.
This
If
is
it's
a just judge.
he ain't no
this
just
is a
judge.
judge that
He's
said,
an
look,
unjust
this is a
judge.
judge that said, look, this is the law. The law fails to do this. I wish that it did it, but it doesn't, and I'm going to follow
He
the law.
plays semantics on the language of the law,
no,
but he didn't
That
rule
is
on
what
the facts.
language of the law is important,
Charles,
right?
this young
it
man's
is talking
hair
about
is
his
not
hair
hanging beneath his
unpinned.
earlobe, Charles.
But look, I'll agree with you that this is stupid. And I'll agree with you that it probably is motivated by racism in Barbers Hill, and that disgusts me because it is a wonderful community. And the school district shouldn't be doing this as a kid that wants to learn, but his mother also shouldn't be doing it. His mother says, look, cut your hair, get in class, play sports, do all that. Right? We'll figure it out later. We don't need this kid
So let
wasting
me
his
ask you a
life.
question.
Go ahead.
If a Jewish kid would wear his locks, a Hasidic Jewish kid wears locks down his face, would they make him cut that off?
Let me tell you something. I hope so. I hope that they have a rule
No, they
that they
wouldn't.
apply
They
to
wouldn't
everyone.
touch it.
If they
They
have a
stay the
rule,
hell away from it.
If they have a rule and they apply it to everyone,
stay the hell
then
away
I would
from
be
it.
okay with it, even though I disagree with the rule. But you calling Chap Kane a racist is disgusting.
That's what he is.
Oh, you're full of crap.